Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Friday. Welcome to the weekend, based on a true story. You know, these t-shirts that I bought, do you guys remember I showed them in a haul that I did? And then I said that they were like really, really expensive, which they were. But I wear them so much and they are so comfortable. I love these t-shirts, and the material, the cotton is the material. The cotton is like, these are like some of the nicest t-shirts I've ever had. I understand the price now. I still think it's outrageous for the price, but I understand the price. But anyway, so I'm wearing my Based on a True Story t-shirt today. Maybe that will be my title for this video today, Based on a True Story. And then, you know what? And when it's done uploading, I won't remember. I never remember what I said I was going to title the video, and I never remember that I was going... Oh, I did do that the other day, though, with surprise. I did remember that, but I hardly ever remember, like, when I do a thumbnail on my vlog. But anyway, okay, let's do time and temperature check really quick. Currently, it is 5:06 p.m., and the weather is, Indianapolis, it pulls it right up, 78 degrees outside. And it's like partly cloudy, partly sunny outside. The reason why I'm filming inside today, well, Alex is at a little like late lunch, early dinner with a friend of his. And he asked me if I wanted to go. And so Alex has been gone the majority of the day. He had 2 meetings earlier, and then his last meeting was up by his aunt's house. So he went over to his aunt's house to hang out with his aunt and his grandma, and he spent a bunch of time with his grandma today. And then he had this like late lunch, early dinner with one of his high school friends. And then she's bringing her daughter, and her daughter, I think, this is the friend that we saw in Florida that we went out to dinner with, she and her husband and their kids. And I think her daughter just started, oh, I just saw the pictures on Facebook. Her oldest daughter is starting 9th grade, and I think the youngest daughter is starting 3rd or 4th grade. So anyway, but they're going to Blue Sushi, which is a sushi restaurant up the street, which I absolutely love. And they have like 10 vegan sushi rolls. Like, I love this place so much. It's so great. But I am really, really dragging today. I am really tired. Last night was the first time I did change my contacts last night, by the way, as soon as I got done vlogging. Last night, my eyes feel so much better after changing my contacts. I only had them in, I realized, I was thinking about it last night, I only had them in for like a week. Because I changed them the Wednesday before. Was it the Wednesday before? Or was it the Friday before? Anyway, I had them in like a week or less than a week. But last night was the first night that I took my medicine in a couple days. And it still took me, you know, a while. It still takes me a while to fall asleep, even though late last night I was like only drinking sleepy time tea, and I was very relaxed. And when I finally went to bed, I actually went to bed a little bit earlier than I usually do, for me, and you know, like, which was like 4:15 or something like that. And I was really tired. Like, I was watching Dark, and I had 2 more episodes, and my plan was to like stay up till 6 and finish all the episodes of Dark from season 1. But I was so tired, and I was just like falling asleep in the chair, that I was like, okay, just go to bed. So I went to bed, and then when I got to bed, I couldn't fall asleep. Boo Radley was not in his purple bed last night. He was like curled right next to Alex. It was the sweetest thing when because I like went, his bed was like where I have to move his bed when I get into bed, because his bed is usually over, Alex moves it over to where I sleep, and so then I have to move it over to the middle. And it's so cute, because like we'll pick up his bed with him in it sometimes, and he just like looks up like he's in this little nest. It's the cutest thing. So anyway, I like went to go move his bed, and he wasn't, and the bed was really light, and it was like pitch black, right? So I couldn't see. So I got my phone, and I was like shining it on the bed. He wasn't. I was like, where is he? Did he jump off the bed? Is he downstairs? And I couldn't find him. And I'm like looking on the floor and whatever. And then I look back on the bed, and he's like, he has his little head just kind of up like that. And he's curled right next to Alex. Like, Alex was like on his back, and he was curled right into the side of Alex. It was so sweet. So I didn't move him. I gave him a couple kisses last night, and then I tried to go to bed. But I really, really struggled. And then I remember Alex like leaving for his meeting, and he came and kissed me goodbye, and said that he was going to his first meeting and stuff like that. So he had 2 meetings today. And then he was texting me from his aunt's house and stuff. But I woke up, and when I woke up, my alarms went off, and my plan was to film like 6 or 7 videos today. And I woke up, and you know, this is where I say, like, I really have a hard time taking a couple days off, but it probably would be good for me to take a couple days off just to relax and do nothing. I mean, but I have a hard time even like on the days that I do nothing, not doing anything. Like, I still like, I'm like, okay, well, I could clean the basement, or I could clean the bathroom, or I could, you know, do this or do that. it's hard for me just to not do anything, like just binge watch. You know how I used to say, like, I was jealous of Alex because he could just, like, on a Saturday or Sunday, like, binge watch a show all day long. Well, now I can binge watch the show, so I'm there. But I still struggle with, like Alex will say, like, on a Saturday, he'll be like, I need to do all my laundry. And I'll be like, well, are you going to do it? And he'll be like, I don't know, maybe I'll just wait till tomorrow or Monday night. And then he'll just lay there and watch, like, a show that he wants to watch. Last night he was watching movies. What was the movie last night? Logan or something like that he was watching? It was like maybe it's a superhero movie? I don't know anything about it. But he was watching this movie last night. Because I was watching, was it called Logan? Was that even what it's called? Yeah, here it is. Logan. When did it come out? 2017 America. He's watching all these superhero movies. He's like so into the superhero movies again. So he's watching all those. I was watching Steel Magnolias and he was watching that. I did not take a nap last night. But when I woke up today, my alarm went off. Boo Radley just came downstairs and like looked at me for a second. He came to the top of the stairs and looked at me. But when I woke up today, I was so tired when I woke up, and I really had a hard time waking up today. And that's directly, well, hi, honey. What are you doing? Your dad's gonna be home in a little bit. No, he said it's gonna be a real short dinner tonight. His dinner started at 4:30. I said, this is gonna be late? And he goes, no. He goes, we'll probably only be there till like 5:30 or 6 because their daughter's coming too. And then they have something they have to go to tonight. So he said he's going to come home. And I said, what are you going to do tonight? He was like, well, we're going to watch these shows, aren't we? Because we have like Real Housewives of Dubai, Real Housewives of Orange County, and something else. I think he's done watching Big Brother. I think he's over it. Because I said something about Big Brother last night. He's like, I mean, if you want to watch it, you can. I was like, okay. Because we can watch Schitt's Creek. And I was like, well, I have like 6 things I have to watch. So he goes, okay, well, then I'm going to watch this movie. And I was like, well, then I'm going to watch Steel Magnolias because I have to watch Steel Magnolias. So anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner tonight. I will tell you that I have had the weirdest craving in the world. This is the reason why I'm sitting inside, because I'm supposed to go, one thing I am supposed to do is go to the pool with my neighbor tonight. She asked me last night, I just really wasn't, like, we talked about it a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I'm just kind of like really not in the mood to go to the pool tonight. So I said, what are you doing tomorrow and Saturday? And tomorrow she has something, Alex has he's going out to dinner with 2 of his girlfriends tomorrow night. And so, tonight, we're just going to hang out here and watch TV shows and stuff, and then he'll probably go to bed at some, he's been going to bed like earlier. So he'll probably go to bed, and then I'll stay up and finish Dark season 1, and then I don't know what I'll watch. I always say I'm going to watch like this week's movie. I just did Peter's Movie Club, and I'm really excited about the movie this week because I haven't seen it. It feels like it's been a while since I've seen it. But anyway, it's a fun kind of adventure movie. And I always say I'm going to watch them on the weekend, but I never do. So we'll probably watch, well, I'm uploading a video on my phone right now. I can't look. So I'm caught up on Big Brother. I got caught up on Big Brother last night, so it's not back on until Sunday. We have Housewives of Dubai, Real Housewives of Orange County. Then we'll probably watch the Watch What Happens lives with those. I don't know, but he won't be hungry because he had sushi, and he was like, do you want me to bring you any sushi home? And I was like, no, I'm not really in the mood for sushi. I have had the weirdest craving for the last couple days. In fact, I think I talked about this on here. Maybe I talked about it just on my weight loss video, but the other day I was craving Basbo's pizza, and I actually even looked it up. It's so weird because I looked it up on DoorDash, and it said something about this restaurant is not available on DoorDash right now. Like, I was going to order it that night. I wanted to they have this pizza called the Quattro Formaggio. It's four cheeses, and they have bacon on it, but I get it without bacon. I love this restaurant so much. It's a local restaurant here in town. And, I just saw it pull it up, and then, see, it's not on here anymore. See, it says, well, it says closed, but then when you pull it up, it says temporarily closed on DoorDash, but they don't have delivery there either, I don't think. Oh my God, their #1 feature item is the Quattro Formaggio. So the Quattro Formaggio without bacon, I'm sure it's so fattening. Romana, cheddar, ricotta, and mozzarella cheese, provolone, bacon, and mushroom. But I get it without mushroom, or I get it without bacon. And then they have the best salads, and so I was gonna get this Greek salad. And then they have the sandwich that I love that's called a Popeye. Here, I'll read it to you. The Popeye, spinach, cream cheese, red onion, green pepper, mushroom, and cucumber dressing. So I was either going to get a Popeye and a salad or I was going to get a pizza and a salad. And I have been like I don't know why I've been craving. I usually like big, thick, like pizza, like Chicago-style pizza. But I haven't had pizza in a long time. But I've been craving like really thin crust pizza lately, which is what this is. And so, so anyway, the other night when I went I was like, okay, well, this is like a sign that I shouldn't order this since it's closed down. Maybe they have delivery. I don't know. I don't think they have delivery. I think they have pickup but not delivery. So anyway, I can't order anyway. But Puccini's, which is really close to us, they have flatbread pizzas. And I think also because Alex went to Indianapolis with his mom and his aunt, and they had flatbread pizzas, and so then I was kind of like thinking about it. That was why. But anyway, last night I started craving a wedge salad like nobody's business. I was like, oh my God, I want a wedge salad so bad. Well, Puccini's up the street has really, really good wedge salads, and I get them without bacon and like extra cherry tomatoes. And then, I mean, but they're not healthy whatsoever. And then I was like, okay, if I get like just a plain cheese pizza, then Alex might eat some of it later, because then I can just have a couple pieces of it, and that could be my dinner for tonight. And I'm like, that's not too bad, but it's not too good either. I've been really, really good with the eating things lately. So yeah, so last night, took a walk, talked to my neighbor. We decided that we were going to go swimming, that we're going to go swimming tonight, is what we said. Because tomorrow night, she's got something she's got to go do. Because I was like, well, Alex has something on Saturday. And she's like, well, she's like, Saturday, I can't, if we go swimming, I can't go swimming until later, which I was totally fine with. She's like, because I've got this thing that, she has like artwork and stuff like that, so she's showing it somewhere. So she's like, I can't do that tomorrow, because that's like from late afternoon to early evening, but when I get home, we can go for a swim if it's not too late. And I was like, that's totally fine. And so, so Alex is doing this girls thing last night. This is like the group that like we've been getting together with, like all the boyfriends and husbands go, but tomorrow night it's just like 3 girlfriends. Because one of his friends is going to Portugal next week, and the other friend's going to Spain. One of Alex's good friends, it's so weird how many people in his life moved to Spain, but one of his good friends, her family is from Spain. And she went over there and spent 3 months in Spain, and then she's moving to Spain. And so this is kind of like their last hurrah kind of thing. But anyway, so that's tomorrow night. I'll probably just sit around here and watch TV and read books, and I don't know. That's the other thing. I'm like, I'm going to want to order food tomorrow night, and like, if I order a wedge salad and pizza tonight, then I won't allow myself to do it tomorrow night, so do I want to wait till tomorrow night or whatever? I should have just had Alex bring me some sushi. Sushi would have been probably, well, I mean, vegan sushi is pretty healthy. I should have just had him do that, but anyway, I'm just not craving sushi tonight. So anyway, last night, took a walk. It was a little bit under an hour, but I still walked, and I was proud of myself. I listened to mostly music. I didn't really listen to a lot of my audiobook. I need to get this Smile Beach Murder book done. I'm really not even that far into it yet, and I'm not loving it, because on my walks, I've been listening to a little bit of that, and I've been listening to music. I've been really loving listening to music lately. So came back, then took a shower, and that was when, like, Alex was talking about Schitt's Creek and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, well, I've got Steel Magnolias to watch. So I watched Steel Magnolias outside. He watched That's Logan upstairs. Then he watched something else. I can't remember what it was. Then I watched Big Brother from Wednesday night, and I watched an episode of Sister Wives, because I was, like, waiting. What's going on, bud? And I was, like, waiting. And then finally, I was, like, texting Nikki and stuff like that. Oh, I talked to Tanya for a long time on the phone last night. And then finally, Big Brother from last night came on Paramount. It comes on Paramount like 12:30 or 1. I don't know what time. But anyway, I said something to Nikki. I said, is it on yet? She's like, yeah, it came on at 12:30. So I was like, okay. So I watched it. Watched Big Brother last night. I feel like I watched something else and got caught up on something else, but I don't remember. I still have Below Deck Mediterranean, but I love that. So I'm excited to watch that. I saw something about they have somebody new on the show. So they must have fired like one of the girls. Alex is texting me. Do you want me to order anything? Do I want anything? I said, can you just bring me some spicy vegan roll, please? Your pick. Oh, he just sent me the menu. Oh, God. Okay. I just texted him back. I said, LOL, don't worry about it. I'm not feeling sushi, thanks, though. I'm not, like, just because he's asking me, and this is, like, where I have to, like, make better choices. Just because he's asking me, I'm thinking, like, okay, I won't be able to have sushi unless we go there anytime. He's not going to want to go there because he just went there, so I should have sushi from Blue Sushi, but I'm not, like, really that hungry for Blue Sushi, so. They had this one called, he said, cowgirl, question mark, and then he said, okay, babe. Oh, I said, no, I'm girl. No, I'm good. He'll text me something back about saying, no, I'm girl. Oh, he put a thumbs up. The cowgirl is like, it's supposed to taste like a cheeseburger, like sushi roll, but it doesn't have meat on it. It's a mushroom that they use or something like that. I'm going to ask him what he's getting. You should probably get in a soup. They have fantastic soups there too. And their salads are really, really good. So anyway, okay, so then I got caught up on Big Brother last night, watched the last episode, and then last night, I'll be honest with you, like, this is, I feel like I talked to Tanya about this, I talked to Nikki about this, I was talking to somebody else about this. Like, nobody that I know can really get into Big Brother this year. It's so just, like, I mean, it's hard. I'm not connected to any of the last night, I always call them castmates. Well, hi, honey. What did Julie call him last night? House guests. I'm not connected to any of the house guests. And, in all honesty, it's weird. Like, I really didn't like Angela, but then she got taken off the block by Tucker, and I really like Tucker. And last night I was kind of hoping, I was like, Tucker, Angela, Mackenzie, and Leah would be like a great alliance in the house. And then I was kind of like rooting for Angela. I already know what happens on Sunday. So, but anyway, I was kind of rooting for Angela, and I was like, this is so weird because she's kind of like the villain, and supposedly she was hired to be like the villain. But like, I don't feel like connected to any of the characters. And Nikki's been watching the live streams, and Tanya's been watching the live streams, and both, I thought, well, maybe it's because I'm not watching the live streams, and both of them were like, I don't feel any more connected watching the live streams. So I don't really think it's that. I don't know what it is. The show feels so completely different to me. It feels very scripted. There was a point last night when Cedric was in the diary room, and he was talking, and it was very much kind of like game on, and this is what, and it was, I don't know, it felt so, the diary rooms this year seemed so scripted to me. So, I'm just not into it this year. I mean, I'm going to keep on watching it, obviously, but I'm just not into it at all. It feels like half of them are actors and the other ones aren't. Like, I love T-Core. I like Joseph, even though a lot of people don't like Joseph, but I don't know the reasons why he was saying that I don't follow this stuff online that closely anymore. So, I like Cedric. I like Chelsea. I actually didn't like Mackenzie at the beginning, but I really like Mackenzie now. Leah is such a typical Big Brother person. Tucker, I really, really like. What's the guy from Hawaii? I like him. He's gay. I wasn't like he was just okay at the beginning of the show, but now I really like him. Quinn, I'm over. I liked Quinn at the beginning, but I'm over him now. I don't know. I'm just like, I just don't feel connected to anybody in the show, and I feel like it changes. Brooklyn, I don't feel connected to at all, and I really thought I would like her. I don't know. It's so interesting. Let's see what he said he got. I got the yellowtail roll and a vegan spicy Kaluma crunch roll. Yeah, sushi doesn't really sound good to me. Oh, so the reason I'm filming inside today is because Monday and Tuesday was landscaping. Wednesday, they were pruning trees, and they're still pruning trees. And they're pruning trees right over here, like right next to my neighbor's yard. In fact, I went out there because it was so loud. I was like, I wanted to film the front porch, and I was like, and I guess they've stopped, but I don't know. As soon as I go outside, they'll start up again. And so I went out there, and I was standing on my front porch, and I could hear her like yelling over them pruning. Not yelling like, ah, but like just like she was talking loud over them pruning. And so I walked over to her mailbox, and she was talking to the guy. Something about, he was like pruning something she didn't want pruned, and he said, well, this isn't your tree, this is the community tree, and this is what they wanted. And she was like, it's in my yard. And he's like, I know, but this is what the community wants. And she just, then she saw me, and she just like threw her hands up in the air. She was like, I was like, I just kind of shrugged my shoulders, so I don't really know what's going on with I don't know what's going on with the tree pruning thing. So that's the first reason. The second reason is because I'm uploading these videos. But I actually, like, I love sitting on the front porch vlogging, but I kind of like sitting in here too. This is, I don't know, it's just like, it's nice to just, hey, how are you? It's nice to just sit here and vlog a little bit. So I'm having a little bit of coffee. I really haven't had that much coffee today either. I told Alex I needed to go to the grocery store. He was like, when do you want to go? He was like, do you want to go Friday when I get back? And I was like, and this was last night. He was like, do you want to go tomorrow when I get back? Oh no, first he tried to be a smart ass about it and try to be real cute. He was like, Boo Riley keeps on walking to the very edge and like walking back. He was like, how about 7:30 tomorrow morning? I was like, he goes, I'm just joking. I go, I know you're joking because you know that I wouldn't be up at 7:30 to go to the grocery store. But I have a couple errands I have to run, and since Caroline, I forgot about this, that I didn't see Caroline this week for Cousin Fun Day, and I'm not going to see her next week either. I have a hair appointment next week. I think we're doing week-by-week therapy too, because we're doing the trauma narrative over the bullying. Oh no, that's next week. So yeah, I have therapy next Tuesday. Oh, you know what? We have marriage counseling next Tuesday night too, because we moved it to them because he had to cancel. And then Wednesday I have a hair appointment. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday next week. And then Monday, Thursday and Friday, I don't have anything. But Caroline and I will not be doing Cousin Fun Day this week because she has a girls' lake trip. So, oh, did my video just get uploaded? My drama video? Is it uploaded? I think it is. So, Alex, I asked him, I was like, I've got a bunch of errands you can run. I don't think I'm going to be able to go to the P.O. box, so, because there's a bunch of other things that I have to do. He's like, yeah, babe, whenever you need me to take you Saturday or Sunday, I'm totally free if you want to do that. And I was like, okay. Because I don't really want to leave today. And I've got enough coffee to get me through. I've got enough coffee to probably get me through Sunday. I actually looked on Instacart. I can't remember the brand of coffee that I'm using now. I can't remember what it's called. I've tried like 2 or 3. I should do a review video about them. I tried like 2 or 3 different kinds of new like bottled coffee, and I found the last one that I used I really liked. But when I went to get on when I looked on Instacart, I looked at Instacart and Amazon Fresh, and the bottles at the grocery store are like $4.59, and on Instacart and stuff they're $6.99, and I'm like, that's like $2.50 more. I mean, I think that's like, I mean, I'll order like 2 or 3 bottles of it. So you're talking like, you know, I mean, $5 to $7 difference. That's huge. I think that's a huge difference, don't you think? So anyway, I've been listening to Mariah Carey. I downloaded. You guys want to hear the newest songs I downloaded? Okay. Why does it have Brandy up here? I Want to Be Down by Brandy. I forgot about that song. Oh, because it went into, that's how it does on this song. So I bought recently, I'm feeling this Mariah Carey stuff. Someday, Emotions. I have all these songs already, but these are remixes. When You Believe with Whitney Houston. And then I got We Belong Together, a remix. And then I got We Belong Together, another remix. Judy Collins, Mr. Tambourine Man live. Dolly Parton, Both Sides Now. I didn't even know she did it with, who is it with? With Rhonda somebody. View credits. Rhonda Vincent. I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is? And then Joni Mitchell, Both Sides Now live. Joni Mitchell, Circle. Oh, I told you guys about this the other day. So, oh, that's why we're sitting inside. Is because, I like forgot for a second what I was going to do. We're sitting inside because they're pruning trees. And so I went to go outside to do it, and it was like so loud. I was like, this is so unbelievably loud. There's no way that I can do it out here. And then I started, and look, they stopped. So I don't know if they're done for the day or not. Whenever I think they're done, it's like they're moving the truck somewhere, and then it's, you know, 20 minutes later, and they're doing it again. It's like yesterday when I was trying to film the video with my neighbor. And I felt so bad because I filmed a little bit of it, and I was like, at first, I said, let's just test it out to see if I can hear you over the, or if people can hear you over the pruner. And so we were like recording. It was so funny because I was like, just say something. And she's like, this is a scoliosis or whatever. And you couldn't hear her over it at all, but she was being really sweet about it. She was so excited about that video. I told her, I said, we can do like a fall video too. And I said, and also somebody mentioned the Christmas house tour on your thing. And she goes, oh, I've got more stuff that I'm doing for the summer. She goes, we're gonna have to do another summer tour before this summer is over. I said, okay, whatever you want to do, I'm down for it. Let's do it. She was like, okay. So there might be another summer garden tour. I love doing those videos. Those videos are so much fun to do. So yeah, that was last night. And then, okay, but I'm craving this wedge salad from Buccini's with just like a cheese pizza. But I'm gonna try to talk myself out of it. I'm also craving tater tots. I don't know why, because now I'm talking about my neighbor. He said the other day, her husband said that he was having tater tots with something, and now I'm like craving tater tots. There's a couple restaurants real close to us. There's like Drake's and District Tap, and they both have like tater tots with cheese on top of them. One of them has like tater tot. See, if I start talking about this is dangerous. One of them has like tater tots with, if I go to a restaurant, like back when I was like eating good, and if the options were like tater tots, sweet potato fries, I would always get sweet potato fries and tater tots or onion rings over regular fries anyway, any day. And I love fries, but I love tater tots. I love them so much. I don't know why this is so silly, but I love tater tots. But do you guys remember like tater tot casserole when I was growing up as a kid? Oh my God. But anyway, this one place up there, I think it's District Tap, they have like this tater tot thing that's like 3 cheeses, ranch dressing, and it's like you can get it with like bacon. Have we ever gotten it? I feel like Alex and I got it as an appetizer one time, but I always see it on the menu. It's like huge. It's like this big. I'm like, oh my God, it looks so delicious. I could get that and just tear into that tonight. So this is so funny how like y'all are influencers and you didn't even know it, how one comment can like change my whole perspective on something. So I'm so into the show Dark, right? Like I'm so into it. I'm so like confused because I'm like, I have episode 9 and 10 left. Is that it? 9 and 10, yes, to watch from season 1. And it goes like, it has all this crazy stuff that happens in it. And so you really don't know where it's going, but you know it kind of like concludes a little bit at the end of the first season. And so I was so excited to start the second season. And like all these people were like, on my comment, not all these people, but there was like 5 or 6 comments where people were like, oh my God, Dark is such a good show. I'm so happy that you're finally watching it, like over the period. Then somebody yesterday commented and they said, I loved Dark. I loved the first season of Dark, but after that it wasn't any good. And I was like, oh, now I'm so not excited to watch the next 2 seasons. So I hope they're wrong. I hope the next 2 seasons are wrong. But usually when I read a comment like that, then it's kind of like in my head. And I'm like, now I'm not really that excited about watching the next 2 seasons. Oh wait, my video is transferred so I can upload it now. But I have like a list of all kinds of, well actually before I get into this, let me tell you my shows I watched last night. Okay, we're gonna watch Dubai, Orange County, I Have Below Deck. That's it. That's all we have right now. Oh, I think RuPaul's Drag Race Global Phenomenon or something like that is starting like in a week or 2. Isn't it? Hello, hello, hello. Okay. This is my movie club video uploading. Now I've got that song in my head, that Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston song stuck in my head. There will be miracles if you believe. Is that even how it goes? I have no idea if those are the words or not. I haven't actually listened to that song in forever. I was like going through all of her music and I was like, oh, I love this song. Oh, I love this song. Did you guys do that? Cheers. Yeah, this weekend's gonna be pretty laid back. It was funny because I was texting a friend of mine last night about her husband going out of town for a little while. And she's like, I'm kind of excited that I'm gonna have the house to myself for a whole weekend. Like, you know, I can just get to do whatever I want to do and all this kind of stuff. And I was like thinking about Saturday night because like when Alex asked me, he's like, well, this isn't like or when he told me that he was going to dinner, he's like, this isn't like boyfriends and husbands are going. I was like, that's totally fine, whatever. And like my immediate thought was, like, cause I don't think he's going to dinner until later tomorrow night, that I'll walk like before he goes to dinner and then I'll come back and like I'll take a shower, put my pajamas on, and then like watch a show and get like real cozy and light the candles and have Boo Radley with me and stuff like that. So I love a good night by myself every once in a while. I also love my husband being here. I was like, she and I were talking about that because she said, I sleep better when my husband is there. That is so true. Like, I mean, Alex hasn't gone out of town by himself in a really, really long time. But when he does, like the first night I'm okay. But usually by like the second or the third night, I'm a little bit kind of like, oh God, like I miss him. Just like, you know, like I just feel safer like with him. The camera stopped. I sleep better when he's here. It was interesting because last night, like, so when I take Boo Radley out, like as we're walking through the streets, it's kind of like when I do my prayers and stuff like that, and I like he's like walks up and down through our yard right here, and I'll like stand on the streets, and like he'll walk down to her mailbox, and he's like he goes along her hedges here along her house and stuff like that. And so I do my prayers as I'm sitting there like, you know, watching him and whatever, and this whole like. I have felt so grateful this summer, so much. Like I felt so incredibly grateful for this amazing life that I have, you know. And last night, like it really hit. Like little Boo Radley was just like he was like running a little bit back. He's like would run like 3 feet and then run back 5 feet, run 3 feet and run. It was so funny. He was like running back and forth. He was like smelling something, and I was like, I said to like Alex earlier in the evening, I was like, we have really, really good lives. You know, he's like, no, we do. He was like, we have great lives. And I was like, we watch TV shows and we hang out together and, you know, we have a safe space. We have a home. We have food to eat. I said, we're happy. Our marriage is good. I said, we have good friends and family. Our friends and family are healthy. I said, we have, you know, our little dog is healthy. I said, we have a good life. He's like, we have a fantastic life. And I think, you know, for so many years, I compared my life to other people. I constantly, you know, was like comparing my life to what, I think it's like I always felt like I got started late. I think part of it was that coming out after high school, like I felt like everybody else had experienced these like boyfriend, girlfriend romances. I'd never really been able to have that. And then I was like drinking and using so heavily that like clouded all that. And then when I got sober, and I got sober at 22, like I felt so far behind because so many friends of mine, like I've shared this story before, but I remember like these 2 guys I was friends with came to visit me on Christmas. Like they were the only ones that came to, like the only ones I wanted to come, and they came to visit me, and they were telling me about like everybody that was in town. And I remember this friend of ours that was in town. He still lives in New York. He's married now and has kids and stuff like that. And I think he and his husband have like, their daughters are like 5 and 7 or something like that. But I remember we used to party together a lot back in the day. And I can remember like he had moved like a year before, and when they came to visit me, they were like telling me what everybody was up to and stuff. And they were like, oh, so-and-so's back in town. We saw him. And I was like, oh, what's he doing? They're like, oh, he like bought this apartment in New York City, and he's doing this and he's doing that. And I was like, I said this exactly like this, not just in videos, but like in meetings and stuff too. Like the party had stopped and I didn't even know it. Like that's exactly how I felt. Like everybody was like graduating from college that was my age, getting their first jobs. Like I was still like partying like I was 18 or 19. And I think that has a lot to do with like me coming out and like really finding myself those first couple of years. And then getting sober at 22 and a half, which, you know, I mean, today there's a lot of younger people getting sober. I would say a lot of people between like 18 and 25, a lot of people are getting sober. There's also a lot of older people that are getting sober. I know a lot of people in their 70s that are getting sober today. But back then, it was kind of like, it was not a lot of people at 22, 23 were getting sober. At 25, not a lot of people at 25. 30, I mean, like, if you were under 30 and you were getting sober, it was kind of like not a lot of people were, you know? And so, it was kind of this bizarre thing. And I think that I felt like I was playing catch up because when I would go to things, especially after my mom got sober, and I can remember like we would do like family things with like family friends. And so like we would go over to like my aunt would have like an open house or something, like a party open house, like Christmas open house in the afternoon or whatever. And or like a party or dinner party or whatever. And there would be people there, like friends of my aunts and my uncles and my mom's that were my allergies have been like off the charts the last couple days. And poor little Boo Radley has been sneezing like nobody's business. And so I said to Alex last night, I said, we're going to give this one more day. And if not, then we're going to give the dose of the, I guess it's like this generic Benadryl that our vet told us, like, she was like, you have to break it up into like fifths to give to him or whatever. But he's just been sneezing so much lately. It's more at night, too, which is crazy. So, and maybe that's because we take him out more at night. I don't know. He sleeps a lot during the day. So, but I remember going to these, like, dinner parties and stuff, and, you know, I would see, like, a friend of my mom's or my aunt's, and they'd be like, hey, how are you? You know, it wasn't like, I was like, I'm good, I just got out of treatment, and I'm sober, you know? It wasn't that. It was like, I mean, I think most people knew that. I would say most people that were close to my mom and my aunt knew that. But the illusion was, I'm in college, right? And so they'd be like, oh my God, you know, like my daughter, she's your same age, and she graduated 2 years ago. And, you know, I can remember hearing stories like that, and I'd be like, I'm so behind. Like, I always felt behind. Like, I was always playing catch up. And then when I started working in treatment and I was in my master's program, the master's program was like the first place that I didn't necessarily feel like I was playing catch up, because it was so interesting, the class that I was in for social work, my master's program, because I would say it was like split into thirds. I would say 1/3 was people that had come directly from the BSW program. So there was like direct, I can't remember what it was called, but it was like, if you came from a like a bachelor's in social work, then you, like, it was a year or a year and a half, like a year program versus 2-year program. I can't remember what it was called, some direct admission or something like that. And so when they would graduate, like if they graduated in like April or May, that summer they would do their first internship, and then they would take classes while they were doing their first internship that summer. And then when we all started in the fall, they would start as a second-year student, not a first-year student. And I can't remember what that was called, but somebody will know what I'm talking about in the comment section below. So that was like 1/3 of the students that, like, they came in from the bachelor's in social work program. And I can remember they were always so bored. They were like, oh my God, we learned all this in the BSW program. Well, I came from an English background, so I didn't know any of it. It was very interesting to me. Most of it was, I would say. And I had great professors. I had such great professors. The way they did it back then is so completely different than how they do it now. Like when I was in my master's program, they divided us up into micro or macro, which meant that, like, if you were in macro social work, then you were focused more on like program development, grant writing, things like that. If you were in micro, that meant that you were more like in individual counseling, individual, you know, things like that. But macro is more like project management and project direction, like being a director of a program and like setting it up and developing it and things like that. They don't do that today. I don't know how they do it today, but I was what, 29 when I graduated? Oh my God, it's 20 some years ago. Seems it's so weird because this guy that I went to my master's program with, the other day I saw on Facebook, like we were really close and we both worked in treatment together, and he wasn't sober, he just started working there. I think maybe I helped him get the job, I don't remember. But anyway, we were both the same age starting in the master's program, and he was such a neat guy, and I can remember he was like a soccer player and stuff, and he was like really cool, and he loved like reggae music and Bob Dylan and all this kind of stuff. And we just like really hit it off, and we were like really good friends in the master's program. And I haven't talked to him for years and years and years. And it was interesting because I was on Facebook the other day. I didn't even know that I was still friends with him, in all honesty. I didn't know that I was ever friends with him on Facebook, if you know the truth. But anyway, it was his name, and it was like these kids, like, you know, it was like the first day of school kid stuff. And his son is a senior, and his daughter is like a freshman. And I was like, oh my God, like I feel so old. And so I was like looking through his pictures, and he like used to have real long hair, like I used to have real long hair, but he had like long hair and he wore it back in a ponytail. He was like real hippie-ish, you know? And he's now completely bald and he has a goatee. And I was like, oh my God, this doesn't even look like the same person. And I was like looking at pictures of his family and him, like he and his wife and the kids dressed up like in matching pajamas for Christmas. It made me so happy. I was like, oh my God, it's so good to know that, you know, I don't know, he was just such a great guy. Like, he really helped me in the master's program. I loved that period of my life. I loved, but it was also, I was working like 50 hours a week. I was taking 15 credit hours a semester, which was a lot. It's 5 classes. You had to do that for the master's program. And then each semester I also had an internship. The first year it was a shorter internship, and that was the one that I did in the elementary school. It was School 42, Elder W. Diggs, at 25th and Martin Luther King. And that was an interesting school because that school had been built as part of what was called the Front Porch Alliance in Indianapolis. And it was at the time, Mayor Goldsmith, when it was built, was trying to bring together 2 neighborhoods. And And one was a black neighborhood and one was like a white Appalachian neighborhood. And these two neighborhoods did not get together. And it was, if you live in Indianapolis, it was Hallville and Stringtown. And so they were trying to bring those two together and call it the New North Side. And so they were doing like a lot of neighborhood renovation. And what was really interesting about that school, so we were put in there as like social workers. So it was like a unit. I was in there with, I think, like 10 social workers. And I don't even know if that school exists today. I haven't been there in years and years and years. I was part of a unit, like a school unit. And so there were like 10 social workers in there. I think I was only in there like a day or two a week or something like that. And, no, I was there 2 days a week. And so we had to, with another like student, we had to run a group. And I can remember this woman that I worked with her in treatment too. A lot of people that I went to school, well, not a lot, but we all went through the same master's program. And she and I, we did a group around the book, The 10th Good Thing About Barney. I don't even know why I'm talking about this today. This is so weird. I haven't thought about this in years. But if you guys have never read the book, The 10th Good Thing About Barney, it's about this kid and his cat dies. And so his mom has him come up with 10 good things about Barney. Well, we were given that we had to work with, I think it was like first, second, and third graders. We had to develop a group about siblings that had been killed in gang warfare. And so we had to like pick these kids out and put this group together. And I'll never forget, it was about like the 10th good thing about Barney is that Barney, like when they buried Barney, he like would help like these plants grow. And so through the period of like 6 weeks, we helped, like they had these seeds and they like grew these plants and stuff. Like in retrospect, I would do this completely different, but I can remember we walked in and it was like after like spring break or something, we came back in and that was like the final group and like they had been like growing. It was like grass or something that they had been growing. And no, what was it? I can't, it was something that it was real easy to grow. But anyway, because we were like, we got to make sure that whatever they plant, that it's not going to die, like by the end. Well, we had walked in and they were all dead. And I was like, oh, these plants were all dead. And I'll never forget, I looked at her. She was a year ahead of me. She was doing like her full-time internship there. And we like went out and like got plant. We freaked. We were like, what are we going to do? That was a good experience. That was a really good experience. But what was so interesting about that school was, I'll never forget, the principal was like this black older woman and she was fantastic. She was so good. And she'd been like an administrator for like 40 years or something like that. I'm sure this was like, I was 26 or 27 at the time. I don't even know if the school exists anymore. But anyway, so the school was really to bring the two communities together. And what was interesting was that you had, I would say, I don't know that it was directly 50-50, but I would say it was pretty close to that, like white students and black students. And all the students during the school day and all the teachers and everybody got along really, really well. But 3:10 when that school bell rang and those parents were out in the parking lot, it was scary. I mean, it was like, I can remember them both coming in opposite sides and like, it would be like, I mean, they just wouldn't talk to each other. And the kids would come out like together and then they would like see their parents and they would like, I mean, it was scary. It was, I don't know, it was a really interesting, experience for me to do. But that was a lot. And I can remember at that time, I did not want to be like in school social work at all. Like, and I can remember that was like the last option that they had. I really wanted to be at the Damien Center. The Damien Center in Indianapolis is where they do a lot of AIDS and HIV. Well, that's all they're dedicated to. And so I really wanted to work with the Damien Center. The Damien Center and Riley Hospital, which is Children's Hospital, were like the two big ones that everybody wanted. And then the like public housing and elementary schools, like nobody wanted those. But I think in retrospect, it was really, really good. I actually learned so much from my mentor at that time that I had. And like I learned more about myself. She was really big into being self-directed and not like, this is what you're going to do and like, I'm going to come in every day and tell you what to do. Like, she would come in and just like check in with us. But like, I can remember like, I wouldn't really know what to do. And she'd say, I'm not going to come in here and tell you what to do. Like, you got to figure it out. Like, you know, this is about you being self-directed and whatever. And I learned so much about myself as a human being through that whole process. But that first year, I was taking 15 credit hours, 2 days a week in the internship. The other days, I was in class, and then I was working 50 hours on top of that. The second year, I had a 40-hour-a-week internship, was working 40 to 50 hours a week on top of it, and also took classes, but I had less classes the second year. I think I had like 2 classes a semester or something like that, and I also took summer school. So, and the summer school was where I took like I remember I took this class called Working with the HIV Infected Client. My professor was fantastic that I had, and I'll never forget, he had, I mean, you know, this is like, I think I graduated in 98 or 99. I don't know, my diploma's over there. But I've shown it in a million videos. I can go get it right now and show it to you. People are always like, you didn't graduate. I'm like, I literally have shown. Well, you can make those up. Okay, then call the school if you don't believe me. But I can remember I took this class called Working with the HIV Infected Client. So if I graduated in 98 or 99, this was around like between like 97 and 99. And you know, you're talking about still dealing with the stigma of like gay men and HIV, you know, having HIV and full-blown AIDS and all this kind of stuff. And I can remember he would have these different panels of speakers come in. Like the first half of the class, it was a summer school class. Like the first half of the class, he would like lecture, and then the second half of the class would be like guests that would come in. And I remember he had this woman come in. I remember her name and everything, and she was the director of like, it was called Life something. I don't know. It was this huge HIV/AIDS organization, research and things like that. I'll never forget, she said, there will never be a cure for AIDS because she said there'll never be a cure for AIDS as we know AIDS today because the strain constantly changes. And so she said every time somebody transmits it to somebody else, the strain changes. There are things that we can do to put it in remission. She was like, but the way that we look at it is very similar to how we look at other diseases. And so it constantly is changing and evolving. Now, I don't know if that's different today, but I can remember when she said that to me, I was like, oh my God, like that is so scary, right? And then I remember there was a panel of mothers that came and spoke, and they had all lost their kids, like their young kids. And this is like kids that had died of AIDS from having blood transfusions and hemoglobin and things like that. And then I remember the hardest one that one was really difficult. But those moms were really strong, and they actually all worked together and going around and speaking to people and speaking to places about destigmatizing HIV and AIDS. And then the panel that was the hardest was, we had a panel of like 5 or 6 gay men who all their partners had passed away. And like when they told their stories, like almost all their friends were gone. And they weren't like 70, they were like 40 and, you know, 40 or 50. And the majority of them like had like really thick glasses. They couldn't see. They had Kaposi sarcoma all over their face. They were walking with canes. And they were so sad, and they were just like, I'm ready to go. Like, I have nobody here. I lost my partner. My partner passed away so many years ago. I'm suffering alone. My family doesn't want anything to do with me. None of them had any family that cared about them. It was so sad. And so taking that class was about, you know, how to learn to be really empathetic towards somebody that you don't know their life experience and things like that. That experience was such a great experience for me, and taking that class. I took that class. It's interesting in some of the classes that I took that, like, I felt like I learned something. Like family systems class, like, to me is like not a class that you would think was interesting, but it was so interesting to me because I was always like looking at my own family system, you know, and family roles and things like that you play in this system. But anyway, how did I even I was talking about the guy that I saw on Facebook, and then I used to go to school with him. But that was like a really crazy time of my life because I was working so much and going to school and doing the practicums. And in school, I always had like some paper. I can remember, this is when I was with my first boyfriend, and my roommate was living there, and she was working 2 jobs. She was working at Gold's Gym, and then she was also working like a corporate job during the day, and he was working 2 jobs. He was doing room service at night, and then he had a corporate job during the day, and I was going to school and I was working in treatment. And I can remember I would come home, and they would like have a day off, and they'd be like wanting to watch a movie, and I would literally have like the entire side. This one, when you walked up the stairs, it was like you walked right into our living room, the kitchen was to the left, I had this little desk over there, and all around there I would have all these papers lined up for like some 25-page paper that I had to write. I can remember when I got done with school, this was before cell phones, right? And off of Delaware Street in Indianapolis, like 10th and Delaware, there was this gas station, it's still there, and I remember pulling in there on my way home and calling my mom from the phone booth, and I was like, Mom, I just finished my last class. I'm finally done with school forever. I'll never have to take school again, or never take another class. And my mom goes, I'll never forget. She was like, congratulations. And she goes, but you might want to get your PhD. I was like, oh my God, Mom, you know. I was like, that's so crazy. But, you know, I thought about going back to school from time to time. I thought about not to get a degree for anything other than just for myself. Like, take a class for fun here and there. I thought about doing that. I just don't miss it enough, and I feel like I can learn on my own, you know, that I don't miss the structure of school. That's what I don't miss. But I have, like, lots of friends of mine that, I have a friend of mine, a sober friend of mine that literally, I mean, has a PhD and has, one of my friends just got his PhD this weekend. I have a friend of mine that has his PhD and, like, continues to go back and get degrees. I mean, he has, like, so many different degrees and, like, the craziest things. I mean, from reputable universities, too. It's not like, I mean, they're not just, like, you know, whatever, but he'll be like, oh, I want to study film studies, so I'm going to go back and, you know, I'm like, okay. But anyway, interesting. How was I talking about that? I was talking about that guy that I saw on Facebook. I was talking about something before that. Oh, I was going to do this Purisms video. I don't even know what got me started thinking about that. See how easy it is for me to go down memory lane. Memory lane, memory lane. Won't you come live with me on memory lane? God, it seems like so long ago. Seems crazy to me. Well, I did start school when I was like in my head thinking, hold on a second. Okay, so if I mean, I could just go like pull it out right now. When I, okay, I got sober, I was 22 and a half. I went back to school when I was 23. So I would have graduated when I was almost 24, 25. I was working, I applied. I think I started at 27. I must have graduated when... This is going to drive me crazy. Hold on a second. Okay. For anybody that doesn't believe this, because I know there's a few doubters out there, you can call up Indiana University and you can look and see themselves. Indiana University School of Social Work, for everybody out there that says I have a fake degree. And you can go over here and you can ask. I graduated on, what is the date? May 9th of 1999. So I was born 72. 72 to 82, 82, 92. So I was a month shy. I couldn't have been 26 when I graduated. There's no way. Look at me having to pull up the calculator because I'm so stupid. Okay. I know somebody just did the math. I was 27. But that June 28th, I would have been 27. So I was 26 when I graduated, which means I was 24 when I started. God, I didn't realize I was that young. I thought it was like 28 or 29. Maybe I confuse it because I was 1999. I guess it would make sense though. Crazy. It's crazy to think I worked so hard for this. It's crazy to think I worked so hard for this piece of paper that I don't do anything with today whatsoever. Anyway. Long time ago. How did I get started talking about that today? I was not planning on talking about that today. I was talking about, I must have said his name. I was talking about the guy that I used to go to school with back in the day. I was talking about, and then after that I talked about the internship with the girl that I worked with. What's so funny to me is today, like when I look at these people, how there are so many of us that none of us are doing anything that's connected to it whatsoever. It's crazy to me. I worked with this girl she was like top of her class in high school, went to went to DePaul, which is one of the best schools in not only the country, but in Indiana, obviously. And then got her master's degree. And I think she got her master's degree in school counseling, though. And she, like, worked in it for, like, a year or something while she was working with me. Like, she was transitioning and, like, in treatment. And then she decided one day that she wanted to go to hair school. She went to hair school. She's probably making 100 times more money and a lot more happier today. But it's kind of crazy to think about that, you know? And that, like, there's so many, like, most of the people that, like, I went to graduate school with and most of the people that I worked with back in the day, like, nobody does anything related to it, you know, anymore. I don't know. I think it's interesting, don't you? A few, but not many. God, it seems like so long ago. I guess it was. Well, if I was 26 when I'm 52 now, I mean, that was half a lifetime ago. Half a lifetime ago. Yeah, weird. I was thinking about that the other day with, like, Alex and I. You know, we're coming up on 16 years of being together and 13 years married. Hold on just a second. I uploaded my Pete Rosen's video. And I was like, you know, I talk about high school a lot and I talk about being bullied. I talk about my whole school experience, right? Well, that was from, like, I mean, 1st grade through 12th grade, 12 years, right? Alex and I have been married longer than my entire school experience. I mean, my, you know, primary school experience. And we've been together for 16 years, which is crazy. But what's crazier than that is that my mom has been gone for 16 years, you know? 16 and a half years she's been gone. Seems surreal to me. And it's like, it's so funny. Alex and I were talking about, like, age last night and whatever, and he was talking about the Kardashians, and the Kardashians took this blood test to see what your, like, real age is, and he was like, would you want to do that? And I was like, yeah. And he said, like, how old do you think you are, like, really? And I said 52. He said something. And he was like, what age would you want to go back to? And I said, oh, that he had watched the Kardashians first before I watched that movie. And he goes, what age would you want to go back to? And I said, I don't know that I really would want to go back in age. I said, I think it's an interesting question when people say that. Like, I think a lot of times it's about wanting to relive memories or be with people that are, I mean, if I went back to 30, would that mean that my mom was still alive? I mean, I don't know. Like, would it change my perspective on how I look at things? Would I do things differently? I don't know. Would it change the course of things? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things that I would change if I could, you know? I mean, definitely, I would never have left this house the day of the accident, period, end of story. Never, ever, you know? It's, it has everything to do with why I've chosen to never drive again as long as I live, because then I have a little bit of control over trying to, you know, stop that from anything like that ever happening again, you know? I'm not somebody that says, like, when people say there's no point to regrets because you learn things from everything that happens to you. I do agree with that. I do agree that you learn from everything that happens to you. Tell me how you feel about making that statement when you were in an accident where a man died. It's really hard to get behind that statement and say, yeah, like, everything I've been through in my life, and, like, just be so trivial about it, but that thing that you learned so much from cost somebody else their life. Like, I don't know, you don't take that statement so lighthearted, like, oh, I don't have any regrets because I learned from everything. The hell, I don't have regrets. I have a lot of regrets. There's a lot of things I would have done differently in my life. And I don't even know that I had to have gone through those things to learn things. That's the thing, as you get older, right? You learn that. Like, you learn that not everything that you know today, you had to go through something to learn it. You could have learned it other ways. Like, you didn't have to go through these horrible things to learn that, right? So it's like a hard statement to get behind. I'm definitely somebody that has regrets. There's definitely things in my life that I would have done differently. Definitely. I wish I would have got my mom a birthday cake for her last year. That's all she wanted, you know? I can't go back and do that. And in my head, I thought there's going to be 100 more birthdays, or at least 20, you know? I never thought that was going to be her last birthday. I would do anything if I could go back and give my mom a birthday. Not for her, because she's not here today to care. For me. I wish then I would have started being the person, because I did over time, but I wish then I would have started being the person that really thought through those things. You know? But it wasn't just the not giving my mom a birthday cake that I learned something from. It was multiple things in my life that I thought, I want to start living in the present and think about people each and every moment, you know? I don't know. I'm not somebody, the camera stopped. I'm not somebody that just believes like, oh, I don't have any regrets. I remember at the end of my mom's life, the last conversation that we had with her, she said to me, said this a lot in videos, many times. She said, when you look back in your life, it's not the things you did that you regret, it's the things you never tried. And I do think that that's true too, you know? There's a lot of things I wish I would have done in my life. I wish I would have gone backpacking in Europe. You know, I tell people that all the time. When people like, when Fufu was like graduating from college and he was like, what would you do if you were my age again? I said I would go backpacking in Europe. I'd take a whole summer off. Oh, the battery is now dying. Hold on, I gotta go get another battery. Okay, I'm back. I didn't think I was gonna go this long today. I thought I was only gonna go for like 20, 30 minutes and I started telling these stories. I don't even know how I got to this story. I gotta figure out how I got to the story of seeing him on Facebook because I saw his kids' pictures going back to school. And I saw his name and I was like, I didn't even know I was friends with this guy anymore. Anyway, or I was friends with him on Facebook to begin with. I mean, it's been so long. I don't know. What was funny though is that we have a really, really good friend of ours in Indianapolis that passed away. God, it's probably been 5 years now. He was a DJ here in town and we have been friends with him like ever. I've been friends with him like before Alex and I got together, and he's like my age and he passed away several years ago. It was really, really sad. And it was one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. So anyway, it was interesting that, he had all these pictures with him on his Facebook, like he was like really close with him, and I was like, how did we never like cross paths like on that alone? Like, how did I never run into you? I mean, he's been married forever and has kids and stuff like that, so maybe he didn't go out when I was going out. But I was like, I mean, he was such good friends with this guy. I was like, how did that like the connection never happen? And then I was like, well, I did remember that he was from the South Side. This guy, I was like, maybe they went to high school together or something because we're all about the same age. So anyway. Yeah, I remember when Fufu was like graduating from high school and he was like, if you were my age, what would you do? And I was like, if you could do it all over again, I said I would definitely go backpacking in Europe. One of my best friends and her sister, their mom was from, or their dad was from Scotland. And so they had spent a lot of time in Europe. So they went backpacking through Europe. I think it was going into our senior year because her sister had graduated like 2 years ahead. So she was in college and so she was going to her senior year of high school and they backpacked through Europe. And it was like life-changing, the things that she told me, the people that she met, the people she kept in contact with. I mean, even years later, she kept in contact with them, you know? And that was like one of the things that I wish I would have done. I wish I would have done an exchange program. I mean, there's so many things that when I look back on my life that I wish I would have done. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I'm so grateful that like sitting right here at this table, I can remember starting my very first like booktube channel when I decided that I wanted to start filming videos consistently, right? And I was like, no, like I'm really heavy and I'm gonna wait 6 months and I'm gonna lose all the weight and then I'll come on video. Like people were like searching out my booktube videos anyway. I mean, they weren't, you know what I mean? It wasn't like, I mean, this was before I started on May 11th of 2016. And I can remember sitting right here and I was so nervous and I was like, but I've been watching all these booktubers and I so bad wanted to be part of this community, you know? I didn't know how not to be part of this community. And I think like I thought a lot about like my mom and like what my mom would say. Like my mom wanted to participate in so many things in life and she just never did because of fear. And I thought, just do this, you know, like just do it. Like what, you know, what's the worst that's going to come? And I can remember also thinking, you're not going to lose the weight in 6 months and 6 months is going to come and you're not going to have lost the weight. And then what you're going to be excuse to start your channel then, right? And I was like, just do it. And I did, you know, and what is it? 8 years later, 8+ years later. And I mean, I'm thinner now than when I started that very first, that's interesting. I'm like, you know, I don't know, 22, 23 pounds thinner than I was over 230 at that point. So I don't know, but I'm like a lot thinner now than I was then, which is interesting. But I mean, it took me 8 years, you know what I mean, to even. But that was gonna keep. I was looking for excuses to not get on here. I watched this person the other day. They made this video. They like do vlogs and they do like television reviews and stuff. And she's a great personality for YouTube. And I was like watching her video because she kind of did a video and she was like talking about me in her video and stuff, and like kind of like. She's doing like a Peter Monn type vlog video or something like that. So I was watching it and she was talking about like doing TV reviews, which is interesting because I've kind of struggled a little bit with what she struggled with. And I mean, her views are a lot better than mine are. But anyway, she was talking about like if she does certain types of videos, then those videos get, like they get in the algorithm and they get more views. But she really wants to do, I can't remember what she was talking about. It was like, she said something about some kind of movie that she was watching recently, and she was like, I really want to do the reactions to those, but I don't think anybody would care. And my immediate response watching this was like, do it because you want to do it. Like, do it because you want to do it, you know? I don't know. Figure out what you want your life to look like and say yes to the things that fit into that and say no to anything else. I mean, that's really where I'm at in my life today, you know? And, I mean, there's obviously things that we have. It's not like I want to go to the doctor. It's not like, you know, I'm sure people want to work 50 hours a week standing on their feet. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of things that people don't want to do. But it's interesting because I think the opposite for me is constantly to go to gratitude. And I've had so many people in my life that if I complain about, like in my like sober friends, if I complain about something, they'll say, yes, but this. And that's, you know, first thought bad, second thought good. And so the second thought is the gratitude thought, right? And so I've had so many friends of mine recently talk about like, oh my God, my kids are driving me crazy this summer. I'm like, before you know it, they're going to be grown and they're going to be out of the house and then you're going to miss them, you know? And they're like, yeah, you're right, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, it's just like, it's like, let's be blessed for what we have and be grateful for what we have, you know? I've had an amazing life. I've got a lot to learn. I still have a lot to learn, you know? I'm not ever going to be there. I'll never have it all figured out. You know, maybe a year from now I'll say I have no regrets. Who knows? Maybe my opinion will change, but today that's not how I feel. So a lot of things in my life that I would do differently, you know? I don't regret the relationships I've been in, though. I will say that. Like, there's not one relationship that I look back on where I say... I mean, I've only really been in, I think, 2, and this is when I was using relationships that were not pretty. I don't really talk a lot about those, but even those relationships, I did learn something for myself. I learned my value and I learned my worth. I think that was important to learn that. I was thinking about something that somebody told me the other day, a friend of mine. She said something about, we were talking about relationships in our youth, and she said something about getting out of like something bad happened and she got out of the relationship that moment and never looked back. And I can remember, and I was saying to her, I can remember being in a relationship and staying. And I said, you know, I wonder what wires us differently that you know immediately to get out and I stayed trying to fix it, you know? It's interesting when you look back on things like that. Those were like the 2 not pretty relationships. I feel like the relationships, especially like Alex and my 2 exes, they were fantastically beautiful people. They still are, you know? I mean, I don't interact with them today. I mean, if like there was cause to, I would, but I'm grateful for the time that I got to spend with them. I had some fantastic times with them. I had some not fantastic times with them, but I'm not somebody that looks back on all of that, you know, and just is like, I don't know. I feel like I've been doing a lot of reflecting in the last week. Like, this movie Dark, or this show Dark, the last couple days since I started watching it, has really like, because it goes back in time to these different eras, and it's really like making me think a lot about stuff from the past. I don't know if you watch, when you watch, if you did that, but anyway, but it's a good show. So tonight, I'm gonna try to eat healthy. I'm gonna take a walk. I may go to the pool with my neighbor. Alex and I are gonna watch some TV shows. I will watch Dark. It's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be a good weekend. It's gonna be a good relaxing weekend. I may watch Peter's Movie Club movie this weekend. I always say that, then I wait till Thursday night to watch it. I would like to finish Smile Beach Murder. Oh, I also, instead of reading Fangirl, I'm reading the book 2 of Check Please, which is that graphic novel, so maybe finish that this weekend as well. Smile Beach Murders, and yeah, just take some walks. I just really want to relax a lot this weekend. I don't know. Well, Alex doesn't have anything that he's doing tomorrow during the day, I don't think. And Sunday we'll do brunch and whatever. So Sunday, definitely, I probably won't film a lot. If Alex, like, has a bunch of... Well, tomorrow we were going to probably run errands unless we do that Sunday before or after brunch. We might do that Sunday. And so I might just do my vlog on Sunday. But tomorrow, depending on... like what my schedule is and what Alex's schedule is. If it's nice, I don't think it's supposed to be nice tomorrow to go to the pool. Let me look and see. I think it's supposed to be like it's like 78 or 77 or something tomorrow. But if tomorrow it's nice enough to go to the pool, I would love to go to the pool. I feel like I haven't been to the pool at all this week. Okay. Okay, it's 76 now. It's not going to be pool night tonight. Oh, it's supposed to be 56 tonight. Tomorrow's 78 and sunny. God, it doesn't even really start getting warm again. And I mean, 78's warm compared to like 20 in February, but I mean, it's not like swim weather, right? It doesn't really even start getting super warm again until Tuesday, 83, but partly cloudy. Next Thursday, isolated thunderstorms, but 85. And then the following week, 85. Tuesday the 20th, 85, mostly sunny. Wednesday, 85, mostly sunny. Those would be good pool days. But then we're almost at the end of August, you know? Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get off here now. I hope that but I will continue to vlog through this weekend, but on my other channels, I might take a little bit of a break. So anyway, I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Friday. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for going down memory lane with me today. Put lots of TV show suggestions in the comment section below. And if you made it this far, then drop a pumpkin for Halloween, even though we're not there yet. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.